Would you say that Israel as a whole is against Islam?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Or mostly they are against Arabs or Arabs from Palestine.
Keean Bexte here for the Rebel.media on Stanford campus in California. We came down here today because we were going to cover the Palestinian Awareness Week demonstrations that have been popping up throughout Californian campuses. We got a tip that this one in particular was going to be very high energy. There was going to be some good interviews to be had, some good conversations to have. It turns out that wasn't really the case. The couple people that showed up half an hour late to put up this apartheid wall behind me, and they weren't too keen on doing interviews. I don't know why. They just didn't want to share their message. They haven't really been engaging with students either. So here's my quick conversation that I had with the demonstrators. I just would like to do a story on what's going on here. Is there anyone that would like to chat about it?
I don't think so. Sorry.
No?
You could message our Facebook page and someone could get back to you maybe.
Well, you're hosting a public demonstration. Why don't you want to talk about what's going on?
I'd just rather not. You can message us on Facebook if you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems a little bit weird.
You can message us on Facebook if you like.
Since they weren't too interested in talking with the one media outlet that bothered to come cover their event, I figured I would chat with students to figure out if they agree with the message of these pro-Palestinian demonstrators. Here's what the students of Stanford had to say. How does it make you feel that they're saying that Israel...
I don't think I know enough about this protest.
Okay.
I'm generally in support of Palestinian rights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think that Israel is an apartheid state?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What about it
100%.
makes it an apartheid state?
Well, I mean, it separates I didn't go there, but it separates Israelis and Muslims, like the Gaza, and
Well, it separates Gaza from Israel, but that's
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the state of Israel on its own. Muslims can sit in the Knesset, they can represent themselves in government. Does that make it an apartheid state?
they cannot.
They can.
They can.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not 100% into it, but as far as I know, there's I recently watched the Conan show where he went to Israel, and where I don't know if Arabic or Muslim people can't go onto the Israeli side of things.
They definitely can. Yeah.
I don't know what he meant.
Do you think that Donald Trump is too easy on Israel, too nice to Israel?
Well, I mean, every president was, I guess.
But in
But-
particular, Donald Trump moved the
Yeah,
embassy to
he-
Jerusalem.
Yeah, I know. It says some things about him, about his politics, but I guess every president in the history. But I don't know if it's rightful to say that because things happened in the past, they can do whatever they want to do now. So I guess I don't know if that's the right call to do.
Do you think Donald Trump is too easy on Israel? Do you think he's too nice to them, moving the capital to Jerusalem? Do you think that's kind of a slap in the face to Muslims across the world?
I'm a Muslim too, so if I see something is not good for my people in this case, then of course I wouldn't agree. So everything against the Muslim people is against me too. So how could I agree something like that?
Would you say that Israel as a whole is against Islam?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Or mostly they are against Arabs or Arabs from Palestine.
So could you tell me, do you think Israel is an apartheid state?
Absolutely not. Israel is a state in which 20% of its citizens are Arabs, and not only that, they're granted full citizenship. If any states are apartheid states, the states that actually don't welcome Jews, for example, all of the neighboring Arab countries like Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, as such. So I think calling Israel the apartheid state is a bit it's a bit hypocritical in that sense.
Do you think Donald Trump is too easy on Israel, moving the embassy to Jerusalem? You think he's too cozy with them?
No, I think Donald Trump understands the Jews' self-determination to the land of Israel, and understand that Jews historically, ancestrally, and in all in basically every context belong to the state of Israel. So I think he kind of understands those premises very well, and yeah.
So are you Jewish yourself then?
Yes.
How can you tell me, how does it make you feel seeing this Israeli, or sorry, not Israeli, this Palestinian Awareness Week saying, dump Trump, Control Alt Delete, assuming deleting Israel. I'm not sure what they mean by that. How does it make you feel as a Jew?
I mean, not too great, but I think I'm pretty confident that the Jewish community here and the pro-Israel community here has the informational resources and kind of the conversational skills to to discuss these issues, not only with those who put up this wall, but also just with students on campus who are kind of neutral on the issue. Yeah.
Would you say that professors, the academic side of things, try and push students towards disliking Israel?
I mean, I would argue so. I personally haven't taken many classes that are sort of on this subject, but a lot of friends of mine have taken classes such as, I think there's one called Islam, Iran, and the American Empire or something in the Middle East. And, a lot of the kind of general consensus in those classes are that, we kind of adapt like an anti-Zionist view in general, which, I think in any class setting, both sides should sort of be discussed. And I think the whole point of an academic university is sort of to kind of, understand, all the information that exists on both sides and to kind of, make your judgment based on that. And a lot of my friends have kind of contended with professors' claims in those classes as such. Yeah, I think it's definitely a kind of a necessity that students, especially in classroom settings where they're supposedly teaching objective material, it's important that students can hear both sides of the story.
Now, I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised with the anti-Israel sentiments that I'm hearing from students on campus. It's the chic academic opinion to have. Their professors have told them that Israel equals bad, so whether or not they have a strong opinion on Israel or Palestine, they know that the proper progressive answer is that, well, yeah, Israel is an apartheid state. What I am a little bit surprised with is how underwhelming this demonstration was. I was told that there's going to be a lot of people here, but there certainly wasn't. I wonder how much the four folks that are sitting on the other side of this apartheid wall are getting paid. It's midterm season here. I can hardly manage to get someone for an interview who's walking by. Everyone here at Stanford is so busy preparing for midterms or writing midterms that they don't have time for stuff like this. But for some reason, these guys are just sort of sitting there, not really talking to anyone. They just put up the signs almost like it was their day job. If you want to check out this story and other stories that I'm doing on the road, you can go to rebelinvestigates.com. There you can check out what I've been doing. I've been to Winnipeg, Vancouver, and now San Francisco and Palo Alto to cover this Palestinian Awareness Week. For the Rebel.media, I'm Keean Bexte. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our content here at The Rebel. Be sure to like and subscribe to us at YouTube, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. You can follow me directly on Twitter at TheRealKeean.